Welcome to the May 12th, 2025 meeting of the Florissant City Council. Please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Sir. Shildroth. Here. O'Donnell. Here. Pagano. Here. Siam. Harris.
Here.
Manganelli. Here. Egan. Here. Caputa.
Here. The next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. Are there any corrections to the meeting minutes of April 28, 2025? Hearing none, Councilman Caputa moves to approve the minutes, seconded by Councilman O'Donnell. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The meeting minutes are approved. We're going to need to amend the agenda to add a proclamation to recognize National Police Week. Do I have a motion? So moved. Councilman Manganelli moves to amend the agenda, seconded by Councilman Egan. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The agenda is amended. Next is the proclamation recognizing National Police Week. City Clerk, please read the proclamation.
Whereas there are more than 800,000 law enforcement officers serving in the communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Florissant Police Department. And whereas since the first recorded death in 1786, there are currently more than 24,000 law enforcement officers in the United States that have made the ultimate sacrifice and have been killed in the line of duty. And whereas the names of these dedicated police servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C., and whereas the service and sacrifice of all officers killed in the line of duty will be honored during the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund 37th Candlelight Vigil on the evening of May 13th, 2025. And whereas May 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of all fallen officers and their families, and U.S. flags should be flown at half-staff, the National Police Week to be observed is May 11th through the 17th. Now, therefore, I, Timothy J. Lowry, Mayor of the City of Florissant, Missouri, and members of the Florissant City Council, do hereby proclaim May 11th through the 17th as National Police Week in the City of Florissant. The next item is a proclamation for Councilman Joe Egan for his retirement from Maryland Heights. Whereas Captain Joe Egan is retiring after a distinguished 41-year career in law enforcement, including 38 years with Maryland Heights Police Department and prior service with Belnor and Bell Ridge Police Departments. And whereas Captain Egan rose through the ranks, serving as police officer, detective, sergeant, lieutenant, and ultimately captain, and was detached from 1989 to 1992 to the North County Metropolitan Enforcement Group, and also serving as the Major K Squad Commander. Whereas his outstanding service earned him the Purple Heart Award, 6 Chiefs Letters of Commendation, a Robert G. Lowry and Merit Awards from the Greater St. Louis Major K Squads, 2 Officers of the Month awards, numerous letters of excellence, and received the 2011 Irish Policeman of the Year from the Emerald Society. Whereas Captain Egan dedicated his time to the community and professional service as a Florissant councilman for Ward 3, board member of Shield of Hope, member of Emerald Society of Missouri and the Knights of Columbus Duchesne Council 2951, as president of the Florissant St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee established in 2022. Whereas he has also volunteered with the St. Ferdinand Basketball and Barbecue Committee and spent over 20 years creating and hosting trivia nights in support of the Hazelwood West Band and Orchestra and various police organizations. Whereas Captain Egan is a devoted family man, beloved by his wife, Kelly Lynn Egan, and remembered by his late parents, Theodore and Rose Egan. And whereas he is a proud father of Kirsten Ellerbush, Emily Daly, and Margaret Schneider, and their public service spouses. Whereas he is affectionately known as Pops to his cherished grandchildren, Evelyn and Cecilia Ellerbush, and Elias and Eloise Schneider. Therefore, I, Timothy J. Lowry, and the Florissant City Council honor and thank Captain Joe Egan for his extraordinary commitment to public safety, community service, and family. His leadership, integrity, and compassion have left a lasting legacy on Maryland Heights and beyond. Right.
They very simply and humble, and they have a question. Thank you.
Get Kelly up here. Hey, come back.
Thank you all.
The next item on the agenda is hearing from citizens. This is a time to speak to the council on any issue, not necessarily on the agenda for 3 minutes. This is not a question and answer period. If you would like to speak to a council member or the mayor, please stay until after the meeting is over, and we'd be happy to speak with you. If you're here to speak on a public hearing, please wait and speak when the public hearing is announced.
Don't have any cards.
We have no speakers this evening. The next item on the agenda is communications. We have none this evening. The next item on the agenda is public hearings. Public hearing number 25-05-012.
In accordance with Section 405-135 of the Florissant Zoning Code, a public hearing will be held by the City Council of Florissant, Missouri, in the council chambers at 955 Rue St. Francois on Monday, May 12, 2025, at 7 p.m. on the following proposition: to amend ordinance number 8508 to allow for a second drive-through with a menu board and a new landscape plan in a B5 planned commercial district for the property located at 975 North Highway 67. Citizens will have an opportunity to be heard. Anyone with special needs should contact the city clerk at least 5 days before said public hearing by calling 839-7630 or email at cityclerk@florissantmo.com.
Will the petitioner please come forward? Thanks for being here tonight. Please say your name and city.
Thank you. My name is Ryan Swanson.
Hold on, sorry.
That's all right. Is that better?
Yes,
That's
thank
better. Ryan Swanson. I'm with ARC Design Resources, 5291 Zenith Parkway. That's in Loves Park, Illinois.
Okay, can you tell us about your project?
Absolutely. I was hoping I wouldn't be up after the last couple items. It's a tough act to follow, but I enjoy coming to these meetings, see some of these things, so congratulations. Essentially what we're proposing, I'm here tonight on behalf of Florissant Custard LLC, the owner-operator of the franchise. Also with me is the owner-operator of the store tonight, in case you have any questions of her. But basically what we're proposing is a second drive-through lane just north of the first lane to allow for more efficient circulation around the store, specifically through the drive-through lane, which does get backed up at certain times of the day. We performed a study, both a parking study and a queuing study based on known sales. So that's kind of what we looked at in terms of times, and looked at those peak hour times, and then looked at parking needs and the drive-through. And we believe the second lane will help immensely, both in terms of adding stacking distance and as well as freeing up parking spaces that are now currently blocked. I think there's up to 18 to 20 spaces that get blocked just with cars waiting in line to get through. So we think it'll be a huge improvement. There's be some pavement taken away adjacent to that bioswale facility. That stays in place. We're going to add some more turf and some landscaping to kind of pretty that up as well. So that's it in a nutshell.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions from the council? Okay. Councilman Manganelli.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm looking over this. So, from my understanding, are the existing lane now, is that going to disappear and both lanes are going to be moved to the back? Or is there just going to be one added on the other side of the retention basin?
Just the latter, just one added. I can
Okay.
try to show that exhibit too, but basically the first one will stay in place. The one will be added north of the bioswale, and then we're going to kind of reconfigure how they combine on the, I guess it'd be the west side.
Okay.
Get my bearings here. This shows dimensions for basically construction, but here you can see the existing lane here,
Okay.
the proposed lane here, and we're adding some striping. This is the existing pavement edge, so that's all going to be removed, basically. And then as you wrap around, we combine the two lanes here with some striping. If somebody does get caught by accident, they can still go through here. It's just striping. So it's still kind of a bypass lane, but
Okay. That's what I thought of, but when it said removing concrete or whatever, I wasn't exactly sure where. My only other question then too is this will be bringing more people through the drive-through, which is good because it does get backed up. But are there plenty of spots for them to park while they're waiting for their food then at that point? Is there any plans for an increase on that aspect?
that's a fair question. Basically, those spots here, those are shown here, those stay the same. So the idea is to basically speed up where they've got capability in the kitchen, is to speed that part of the operation up. The number of spaces, pull-ahead spaces while the food's being made doesn't change because they're trying to basically speed up the kitchen so they can get more orders going at the same time. So that shouldn't be affected. At least that's what's proposed.
That's the whole,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, all right, thank you, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Manganelli. Councilman Childress.
Thank you, Mr. President. You mentioned the two studies you did. Will they alleviate the stacking issues? That's what those numbers tell you, is that correct?
Yeah, we knew through this area here, we're gonna lose, I think, eight spaces here. So initially, we worked with staff and said, well, can you afford to lose those spaces? This store has a lot of employees that don't drive as well, so we knew we had some spaces to give up. That whole area on the north end is not heavily used, so the study primarily focused on those peak times based on receipts. so we could look at sales and say, okay, what was the peak time, which was, I think, Friday at 1 o'clock for dine-in and Friday at like 6:45, I think, for drive-through. So we looked at the worst-case scenarios for those, and that's what we used for the parking study and as well as the stacking. To me, the biggest improvement is not blocking all those parking spaces along that main drive aisle coming in to where you can get people in and out easier if they do park there, but also technically we've got more stacking space than just what that shows. You could still wrap cars around if that happened. So yeah, it showed it was all basically positive.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I'm hoping that this will help with any traffic. I know it's been an issue for a while, so I thank you for tackling the study. I think it was really thorough. I've not seen a study that thorough in my time, you know, included with it. So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely.
They do have a question about your employees. Do they take orders outside at all? Some places do that. Well, they'll have this kind of situation, but they'll also be taking orders outside? No.
Not planned
Okay.
at this point.
And then in the pull-through spots there, what happens is they come out the door and they deliver. Okay, so I see you have some on the far side. You know, do they have training on safety, or how do you keep them safe? Okay.
Just-
Come forward, please. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brianna
Hi.
Alston. I'm the newest owner of Culver's and Florissant.
Welcome,
Just
thank you.
took over in January, and I'm new to Missouri. I'm from Illinois as well. But just to answer your question, yes, so we have reflective jackets that all runners use, and they are designated runners, and they know if they're working after 5 o'clock, they have to wear that vest.
That's great. Appreciate you taking into consideration
Oh,
their
yeah.
safety. I think when things start moving faster, the kitchen moves faster.
Yes.
It's important to have that in
Yeah.
place. So thank you and welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Are there any more questions from the council or comments?
One thing I can add too, there's a store near my house actually has another bypass lane through this drive-through. This does not have that, so it's strictly focused on drive-through traffic, which makes it kind of nice. You don't have cars just kind of flying through, so it does help that.
It's naturally slows the traffic, I guess, because of
Yeah.
this. So,
Yeah.
okay. Seeing no further, I'm sorry. Is there anyone in the audience before we close this who would like to comment on this public hearing? Please come forward. Come on up to the mic. Will you state your name and your city?
I live in Florissant, Missouri, and
Your name, sir?
My name is Scott, and I just have a question. Is there a board?
Full name, please. I'm sorry.
Scott Hoyt,
Scott
Hoyt,
Wait.
H-O-Y-T.
Okay, thank you.
Is there? I see the drive-through, but if you decide that it's too much time there, can you abort and drive away?
Yeah, I think the area right there is just striped. Is that correct? You said it's striped there, so cars can still pull through right there. It's not concrete, so they'll be able to get through.
Okay, I just
They still have to be patient, but
right. I
yeah,
don't.
that's a good question for sure.
Right,
Thank
I
you
just-
so much.
Whenever I'm in drive-through, you know, sometimes it gets backed up. People don't show up for work, so on and so forth. You decide, oh, I want to go somewhere else. So I just thought.
Absolutely.
Anyway, that's all I needed. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Okay, are there any more comments or questions from the audience? Okay, seeing no further comments, Councilman O'Donnell moves to close this public hearing, seconded by Councilwoman Pagano. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, the motion is carried. This public hearing is closed. The next item on the agenda is old business. The first item is bills for second reading. Bill number 10068. Councilman O'Donnell moves for a second reading, seconded by Councilman Manganelli. A discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Ordinance authorizing the rezoning of property located at 1210 Paddock Drive, 1220 Paddock Drive, and 2650 Parker Road from R4 single-family dwelling district to B5 Planned Commercial District.
Councilman O'Donnell moves for a third reading, seconded by Councilwoman Pagano. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Ordinance authorizing rezoning of the property located at 1210 Paddock Drive, 1220 Paddock Drive, and 2650 Parker Road from R4 single-family dwelling district to B5 Planned Commercial District.
Okay, before the final vote is taken, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this bill? Seeing none, clerk, please poll the council for the final vote.
Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Yes. Siam. Yes. Harris.
Yes.
Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa.
Bill number 10068 passes and becomes ordinance number 9067. Bill number 10039. 69. Well, let me restate that. Bill number 10069. Councilman Manganelli moves for a second reading, seconded by Councilman Egan. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Ordinance authorizing an amendment to special use number 4693 for Ruiz Mexican Cuisine Incorporated to allow for an existing double-sided billboard sign in a B3 extensive business district for the property located at 901 North Highway 67.
Councilman O'Donnell moves for a third reading, seconded by Councilwoman Pagano. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Ordinance authorizing an amendment to special use permit number 4693 for Ruiz Mexican Cuisine Incorporated to allow for an existing double-sided billboard sign in a B3 extensive business district for the property located at 901 North Highway 67.
Before the final vote is taken, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this bill? Hearing none, clerk, please poll the council for the final vote.
Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Yes. Siam. Yes. Harris.
Yes.
Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa.
Bill number 10069 passes and becomes ordinance number 9068. Bill number 10070. Councilman Egan moves for a second reading, seconded by Councilman Caputa. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Ordinance authorizing amendment to Chapter 220.100, burning garbage, rubbish, and et cetera, to add provisions for recreational fires.
Councilman Egan moves for a third reading, seconded by Councilman Siam. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Ordinance authorizing amendment to Chapter 220100, burning garbage, rubbish, et cetera, to add provisions for recreational fires.
Before the final vote is taken, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this bill? Hearing none, clerk, please poll the council for the final vote.
Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Yes. Siam. Yes. Harris.
Yes.
Manganelli.
Yes.
Egan. Yes. Caputa.
Bill number 10070 passes and becomes ordinance number 9069. The next item on the agenda is new business. The first item under new business is board appointments. Mayor? Oh. Turn you on.
There you go. Thank you. I wish to reappoint Pat Helfrich and Carolyn Connor to the Senior Commission.
Councilman Shildroff moves for approval of Pat Helfrich for reappointment to Senior Commission, seconded by Councilman Egan. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The appointment is made.
Thank you. I have one other. I wish to appoint Lori Coachman to the Emergency Management Commission.
Councilman Manganelli moves to approve Lori Coachman, seconded by Councilman Caputa. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The appointment has been made.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. Are there any other appointments this evening? Okay. Next is requests. Councilman Siam moves to accept the application to transfer a special use permit number 8388 from Chick-fil-A to Harrington Hospitality Group, Inc., doing business as Chick-fil-A, to allow for a sit-down, carry-out, and drive-through restaurant located at 3159 North Highway 67. Seconded by Councilman Shildroth. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried and the application is accepted. Bills for first reading is next up on the agenda. We have Bill number 10072.
Ordinance to authorize an amendment to ordinance number 8508 to allow for a second drive-through with menu board and a new landscape plan in the B5 Plan Commercial District for the property located at 975 North Highway 67.
Councilman O'Donnell moves for a second reading. Seconded by Councilman Shildroth. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
Ordinance to authorize an amendment to ordinance number 8508 to allow for a second drive-through with menu board and new landscape plan in the B5 Plan Commercial District for the property located at 975 North Highway 67.
Councilman O'Donnell moves for a third reading. Seconded by Councilwoman Pagano. Roll call vote, please.
Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Yes. Cyan. Harris.
Yes.
Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa. Ordinance to authorize an amendment to ordinance number 8508 to allow for a second drive-through with a menu board and new landscape plan in a B5 Plan Commercial District for the property located at 975 North Highway 67.
Before the final vote is taken, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this bill? Hearing none, clerk, please poll the council for the final vote.
Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Yes. Cyan. Yes. Harris.
Yes.
Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa.
Bill number 10072 passes and becomes ordinance number 9070. Okay. Bill number 10073.
Ordinance amending Title V, Building and Construction, Article 3, Residential Code, Table R3012, Climatic Geographic Design Criteria by changing the requirement for an ice barrier underlayment for roofing.
Councilman Egan moves for a second reading.
That works too.
Because we're flying. We have a second by Councilman Egan. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Against?
Ordinance amending Title V, Building and Construction, Article 3, Residential Code, Table R301, 2, Climatic Geographic Design Criteria, that's a mouthful, by changing the requirement for ice barrier underlayment for roofing.
Councilman Egan moves for a third reading. Seconded by Councilman Cyan. Roll call vote, please.
Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Yes. Cyan. Yes. Harris.
Yes.
Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa.
Before the final vote is taken. Okay, go ahead.
Ordinance amending Title V, Building Construction, Article 3, Residential Code, Table R301, 2, Climatic Geographic Design Criteria by changing the requirement for an ice barrier underlayment for roofing.
Okay. Before the final vote is taken, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this bill? Hearing none, clerk, please poll the council for the final vote.
Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Yes. Cyan. Yes. Harris.
Yes.
Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa.
Bill number 10073 passes and becomes ordinance number 9071. Bill number 10074.
Ordinance to authorize a transfer of special use permit number 8388 from Chick-fil-A to Harrington Hospitality Group, Incorporated, DBA Chick-fil-A, to allow for a sit-down carry-out and drive-through restaurant located at 3159 North Highway 67.
Councilman Cyan moves for a second reading. Seconded by Councilman Manganelli. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Ordinance to authorize a transfer of special use permit number 8388 from Chick-fil-A to Harrington Hospitality Group, Incorporated, DBA Chick-fil-A, to allow for a sit-down, carry-out, and drive-through restaurant located at 3159 North Highway 67.
Councilman Cyan moves for a third reading. Seconded by Councilman Shildroth. Roll call vote, please.
Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Cyan. Harris.
Yes.
Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa.
Before
to authorize the transfer of special use permit number 8388 from Chick-fil-A to Harrington Hospitality Group, Incorporated, DBA Chick-fil-A, to allow for a sit-down, carry-out, and drive-through restaurant located 3159 North Highway 67.
Before the final vote is taken, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this bill? Hearing none, clerk, please poll the council for the final vote.
Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Yes. Cyan. Yes. Harris.
Yes.
Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa.
Bill number 10074 passes and becomes ordinance number 9072. Next is council announcements. Councilman Egan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I know that there's times on this dais when we all kind of repeat something that everyone else has said, but I think there's times it's worthwhile. And I know that I'm stealing the mayor's thunder and probably everyone else's thunder by talking about the Valley of Flowers and this event we just had. I want to express my thanks to all the people that worked so very hard, especially Kelly, on the committee, the police department, the Knights of Columbus, the street department, the parks department, the administration, all the vendors, all the participants in the parade, everyone that just made it a really good weekend. Yeah, it was a little rainy, but we endured, and I think it was a good time and an apt fitting to the Valley of Flowers. Thank you very much.
Councilman Childrath.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to congratulate Captain Joe Egan on a terrific career in law enforcement. I think the two toughest public service jobs you can have are a policeman and a politician. And I've had the privilege of serving with 3 people up here that did both, and it's been quite an honor. I would like to thank the entire Valley Flowers Committee for a great festival. I would especially like to thank the committee for recognizing the late Mary Gettemeyer and naming the theme to this year's Valley of Flowers, Mary, Mary, Quite Contrary, after Mary Gettemeyer, a florist for many years in Florissant. Mary was a unique character and a terrific florist. We had the pleasure of working with Mary on 3 weddings in our family, and she couldn't have been more cooperative and fun to get along with. Thank you again.
Next, we'll go to Councilman Manganelli.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, I too would like to echo the sentiments towards the Valley of Flowers and all the dedicated people that bring that great festival to the residents here in Florissant. Also, I'd like to bring up that on this Friday at 9 a.m. At my office, I will be hosting a coffee with a cop. So if anybody would like to stop by, nothing like free donuts and coffee, but also to meet some of the great law enforcement officers that we have in our department. Thank you.
Okay, next is Councilman Caputa.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just want to say congratulations to Joe Egan for his retirement from the police department, Maryland Heights Police Department. Well-deserved, Captain. Enjoy yourself. Like I said before, well-deserved. Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to echo the same about the Valley Flowers Committee, the Knights of Columbus, everybody that worked on the Valley Flowers, and they put so much time and effort into that. In fact, probably in the next few weeks, they'll be starting on the 2026 festival. And I don't think anybody realizes the amount of hours that actually goes into that, so I certainly appreciate everything that they do to bring that wonderful event here to the city of Florissant. A few other things I want to talk about. Tomorrow night at the Courts Building on 4575 Washington at 6 p.m., we're going to have a little public meeting to talk about the Lynn Meadows and Clearview traffic discussion. Certainly encourage everybody to come up there and discuss that and try to figure out exactly what is the best route going forward with making those streets one way, open them back up, but we definitely need to do something with it. There's a public meeting for the Parks Comprehensive Master Plan, which is set for May 14th at 7 p.m. at the JFK Community Center. And summer is here because we're going to open up Bangor and Coke Pool on May 24th. And our new Florissant roller rink at the J. Egan Center is going to open here next week, so please come and visit that. Registration is now open for our summer day camp program. And we just kicked off on May 1st the Beautiful Home Awards, so please submit your nominations to the Community Development Office. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Please remember there will be no council meeting on Monday, May 26th. The next regular My apologies. Councilwoman Pagano. Go
I
for
hope I'm not jumping the gun,
it. Go for it.
but I believe, is there a doctor in the house? Congratulations to Karen Goodwin for getting her doctorate. She worked so hard. I was waiting, and I thought, oh my gosh, I hope something didn't happen. So congratulations, I am so proud of you.
Wonderful.
So,
Yes,
and to you, Joe, and
so
I'll
our
tell
city
you
clerk,
later.
Karen Goodwood, has defended her dissertation and has become a doctor.
Yes.
So, thank you.
I
That's,
just didn't want that to go unnoticed.
Appropriate honor, yes. Okay, are there any other announcements? Anything else? Oh, wonderful. Okay, remember there's no council meeting on the 26th of May. The next regular meeting for the city council will be on Monday, June 9th, 2025. Councilwoman Pagano moves to adjourn the regular meeting, seconded by Councilman Caputa. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The meeting is adjourned.